You then have a hard line on just like, all right, you discovered African literature and you're like, you're never going anywhere else.
No.
Is there a why?
I think my why kind of makes sense, no? Because I want to read things that I can relate to.
Yeah.
That's literally my why. That's it. I just want to read things that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Things that I know about. Things that I'm familiar with. That's literally the reason why I love African literature. I started getting into Black literature, Toni Morrison heavily. James Baldwin, sometimes I couldn't really understand. The sentiment was there. I love Agassi, the one who wrote Homegoing, Chimamanda, obviously, because American, I remember when I got American, I think I bought like 4 copies for my family, and I was like, guys, look at this. I like, guys, look, this is writing,
So yeah, welcome Rudo to the Pen and Pulse podcast. So on this platform, I discuss like politics, literature, writing, culture, but not limited to that, especially with a strong focus on African literature, but not limited to that, and try and amplify young voices at home in the diaspora, particularly in the writing space, because I'm a writer myself, or I'd like to believe that. But yeah, well, if I do write, I'm a writer. Yeah. So that's what we do on here. And this is a conversation I've been meaning to have for a long time. Why, like we're already saying that, I think I gravitated towards your work. Like I was looking for African literature and especially writers from home, and then I think I kind of stumbled on your book. I remember it was on Twitter or on Amazon or something like that. And then I got it. The first story just hit me. The first story just hit me. And I was like, wow, I remember. Like, yeah. And I was like, wow. Like, it's still my favorite story. So that's how I gravitated towards your work. And I noticed you're a book talker. Yeah. So that was interesting to me. So for my viewers, Rudo is an author, screenwriter, right? Aspiring book talker, YouTuber, basically African literature reviewer on the socials, if you're looking for her. And maybe by the end of this podcast, I might call her a friend. We'll see.
Yeah, thank you.
But thank you for being on the platform, finally.
Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I think I was supposed to be here, recording this. Well, end of last year into the beginning of this year, but life has just been lifing. But thank you for finally we're here, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're supposed to have that time when I was like I couldn't when we had to reschedule. I had to reschedule for some reasons, which now I look back, I'm like, oh wow, God. But the things we do in this life. But yeah, man. It's good. Full circle moment. Maybe it's good that it's happening today. The day before the Lord rises. Maybe it's very symbolic and significant.
Yes, and the day after independence.
This is going to be a very rich conversation. I can feel it already. It's a heavy, blessed by God and to watch upon by the Nehanders. So how are you feeling though?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, I'm great. I just woke up a couple of hours ago. It's like 9 a.m., So it's good, like I look alive. I had coffee, so that's good. Yeah. We must look alive for like important guests, even though we just woke up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
Yeah. How's the UK? You're in the UK, right?
Yes, I am. The sun is out today. Okay. So after this, I'm literally going to take advantage of it because we really have the sun out for a long time. So after this, I'm gonna go and look up. But yeah, in look up, yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
How long have you been there?
We're nearing summer.
Oh, you're nearing summer? Yeah.
What? 11 years in August, actually.
Oh wow. Do you go home
Yeah,
often?
not that awful.
When was the last
Quite
time you were
expensive.
home?
When I left.
11 years. This is
Yeah.
Kurawa. Are we talking Kurawa in here? Okay, we'll find it.
No, 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 not really, no. I don't know. Most of my family is here, actually.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay, that is
yeah,
nice.
my mom, my brother, my sister, we're all here. So, I think I
Like,
only have
mhm.
one grandparent, and my dad is still back home. But that's pretty much it.
Oh, that is nice. I guess it's fun.
Yeah, it
So
is.
you,
Because
mhm.
literally, my immediate family is all here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't go through like any when you came. You didn't go through like any too much nostalgia because you had people around you then that you knew. I guess.
Uh, they came after me, most of them.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I wrote this book. It's all nostalgia. I think if you read it, it was just me longing for home.
Yeah.
Um, I think you can tell through the character it was longing for home. I missed home, and writing was the only way that I could express how I was feeling. Because my mom, she came here 2003, and I think I hadn't seen her for 13 years when I came.
Hmm.
So I had to adapt to that, getting to know my mom, having to build a relationship because she left when I was 6 and I was like 19 now. So having to build a relationship from scratch when I'm no longer 6 and then I'm 19, I'm a teenager, I have my own, she still sees me as a 6 year old. So there was a
Yeah.
bit of clashing. But my sister and my brother and my cousin, they came way after me. So yeah, I wrote this book when I was missing home.
Yeah. I think I heard you talking about somewhere where you were like you when you came like everyone now had like their own friend groups and stuff, and then
Yeah,
establishing you're trying to blend in. So it's a book
yeah.
born out of loneliness to some extent.
It is actually. Now that I really look back at it, it is.
Hmm.
Because when I came, I didn't go straight to uni. I was home for a while with my mom, and people had gone to uni. People my age, even my friends from high school,
Yeah.
they started going to uni in different countries. So I was just like, okay, now what? So because I was so familiar with home, I'd been
Hmm.
home since I was born to like 19. The only
Yeah.
thing that I knew. And then because I was missing it, I was like, I started reading because I liked reading, but I didn't
Hmm.
really enjoy it. Even though in high school, when I was like form one, form two, I used to write, but they were just like silly stories
Yeah.
in high school. And then after a while, I discovered voice and I stopped writing. And then and then when I came here, I was like, okay, I think I need to get back to it. So missing home and then having this outlet. And then I was thinking, I was longing to read books with characters like myself.
Okay.
So I started reading African American literature, which I enjoyed. James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison. Oh my gosh,
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed those books. But then I couldn't really relate to all of it because their struggle was different from mine.
Yeah.
Even our histories are quite different, so I couldn't really be like, okay, I feel this, I'm home. Then I turned to African literature, and I think my first introduction to African literature was Americana, and yeah, the rest is history.
Was Americana her first novel?
No, it wasn't,
Pepper Heat
but
Pepper.
it was Purple Hibiscus.
Yeah.
But Americana came around the time I came out around the time I came here, so it was very
Oh, okay.
popular. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
the African book
Oh, yeah, yeah.
then. Yeah.
I think I remember Chimamanda at some point. I think it was about Purple Hibiscus or like
Uh-huh.
Americana. But she was also referencing a longing for home. That's why she started writing the book.
Yeah.
Do you think like good art or just writing comes like from those strong emotions like loneliness? Because I'm writing too, right? And
Uh-huh.
my first story that I like published was like me basically talking about the whole concept is being worried that I'm going to be forgotten by home, but also like when I get there, maybe praying that my grandmother is still alive so that he can then see me again and my brothers who are born here, by the way. So it's
Yeah.
like there's a longing for home too in that sense. Do you
Yeah.
think like they are born like those like good art is born from those strong emotions, or sometimes you can conjure something from like
Personally, I think so.
yeah
Because all my writing is really emotional. If it lacks emotion, I don't really engage with it. Because from most writers who I read, whose work I enjoy, they do talk about the emotion. Because I think I even remember Toni Morrison. She was talking about like there's this quote about home. I'm forgetting it now, but it was something to do with that.
yeah
Even Novuyo, House of Stone, she talked about that. Even No Violet, when she wrote We Need New Names, I remember watching an interview and she was talking about that. So I think there's
yeah
something about missing home, and I think it's romancing the emotion.
yeah
Yeah, it's romancing the emotion because you miss the little things. It's the small
oh
things
yeah
that you're
yeah
like,
that's
oh, you know. And that's the reason why I think I love African literature, because it could be a book written in Ghana, but if they describe the smell of the smoke in the market when they were like roasting corn, and for me, it takes me home because
yeah
I'm
yeah
familiar with that. So I think it's those small things that conjure the emotion, because it makes me think about where I was, what age I was, how I was feeling. It could be on a random day. So I think for me, it has to be emotional for it to
oh
make sense
wow
to me.
I
Yeah.
like it yeah because I always had this thing right I would like just be like you know if I don't feel anything I can't write and I'm always thinking
Mm-hmm.
about I used to think about all those fictional writers right
Well,
writers who write fiction I'm like do they just sit and then think okay I want to write a story and then they're
mm-hmm.
like okay this is what I'm going to create
Mm-hmm.
without having a strong emotion. And for some reason, my strong emotion is born from personal experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't write if I'm not feeling it. Like if it's not being
Well,
moving me from within, or it's just like coming
yeah.
from, you know. But with this, it's like maybe that's how it is.
Yeah, because I remember I was interacting with Sunyati on Twitter a while back, and I was also talking about this thing of like, I need to feel it. And then she was like, for some people, you just have to write, and then the emotion will come. Because I think
Okay.
it was like, I'm not, forgive me, I'm forgetting names and quotes, but I think it's a Picasso thing that, inspiration will catch up with you, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you just have to do it, and then inspiration will come.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I've tried that route. And sometimes it could be my mind is somewhere else, or the moment in time, or what I'm going through, I can't produce things that I must. So now that I'm trying to write my second book, I'm now trying to assess that, why is it that I'm feeling this way, and how can I correct it? Is this emotion true?
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
what is the cause of it? Because whilst I'm also familiarizing myself with the writing the second book, it's not the same as the first book. The drives are different.
Yeah.
My
Yeah. Yeah.
drive for this book was I just wanted to write, I didn't think I was going to get published because I was so afraid and shy of criticism until my publisher found my work on Twitter. But
Yeah.
now the drive for the second book is different because people know what I'm capable of. So I'm no longer coming from the same place I was when I was 23 and writing this book. I'm a different person altogether. I've gone through different things than the person who wrote this book. So now I have to assess and see what fits with this Rudo to write the second book. So now I'm trying to see if I can write from that place where I'm just sitting down and writing and then the emotion will catch on, or if I should read something and then it inspires me to write. or if I see something and then it inspires me to write. So I'm just trying to see where exactly I stand at the moment.
Well, you are foreshadowing your second book. We'll talk about that. We had that part in case.
I hope I will write it because I'm thinking of.
Oh, you haven't started working on it?
No, I have the what you call it?
Rough idea.
The structure.
Structure.
Idea I do.
Okay.
But in the execution now, that like what I'm saying, that how exactly am I going to do it? Because it's different from the first book now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a little bit of both. I guess maybe sometimes it's born out of inspiration that comes from within, but sometimes they say action precedes inspiration, like you're saying about the Picasso thing. Because I've had people say, you gotta just write every day if you're a writer, or just do it every day, regardless of whatever. At some point, there's some inspiration that's gonna come out of it. Or you're going to find it, like you're saying. Well, it's an interesting dance to do. Well, we'll see. You tell us after you write the second book.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to take you back. Like, I identify a lot with your migration story. When you said you came when you're like 19 and your mother left when you're like 6. My mother left when I was like 2 years old, and I came to America when I was like 23. So similar, but a little bit more extreme than yours. But it is similar.
My brother was 1, so I think you can relate with my brother. I think.
And I didn't know, like, what's his name? Is it Kuda? Cooper. Yeah, I didn't know he was your brother.
Yeah.
Side note, I know it was your brother.
We look alike, though. People say we look alike. So I don't know how.
But when I discovered, I was like, you know what? You know, like when I discovered you're related, I was like, you know what? They kind of look related. You know?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Because I was interacting with 2 different people, and I'm liking the content, like book content and his comedy style, and you don't know, like, okay, these people are siblings. But anyways, yeah. So I was like saying, I had the same experience where you're now with the parent, and then she's trying to be mom. But I'm now like, nah, you can't do that now. Like, I'm older and stuff, you know? But there was that interaction and stuff. Do you think there's any writing inspiration that comes from that? Like, is your writing informed from any of that experience? Like, the youngness of you being left at home and, you know, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think I hinted at it in Shana, I think.
Okay.
Because I think the girl's parents, they traveled a lot to South Africa and they left with their grandma.
Yeah.
Even though I lived with my dad. But I think when I was writing this book, it was a bit too fresh and there were so many emotions going on. Because me and my mom, even now, we clash a lot. Yeah. Because we're 2 completely different people. Maybe with some similarities, that's why we clash a lot. But I think I'm coming to understand that we might not understand things the same way.
Yeah.
But before, I would try as much as I can to make her understand where I'm coming from. But sometimes she might not, and I might not understand where she's coming from. But I think I'm now accepting that reality. And it's a bit more freeing than, you know, trying to fit into something that I'm not. Because when I came, there was a lot of clashing. But now I think I'm also trying to understand that where she is coming from, even though I will not fully understand it, even though I don't agree with how she does it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, now she will try to tell me that, oh, you're not supposed to do this way, you're supposed to do it that way. But I'm thinking, I've been doing this. It's like basically it's been working for the rest of my life. And then you're telling me that you're not supposed to do it like that. You know? So I'm just like, it's a bit too late. You know?
Yeah. I feel you.
At the same time, she came here to work for us, right? To provide for us. That's true. But at the same time, we were left at home without a mother. So 2 things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
But her being an African mother, She just wants you to understand her point, that she came here and she worked for you. What she went through now, to her, she doesn't really see it from my point of view. So I think that's where the clash comes. Because the reality is, she came here, she worked, which I'm grateful for. But at the same time, she left us at home. Whether she left us is an didn't abandon us, obviously. But she
necessity.
Left us.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we didn't have a mom for that long. So two things in true at the same time. But then now trying to reconcile the twos where the problem comes in. Because to her, I think she seems as if when you tell her, it's like it's an attack. But it's not. It's a reality. Yeah. It's my reality. So I think that's where the clash comes in now. But, yeah.
I had this... I used to joke with my mom. I think it's a line. Well, I'm working on a novel, but it's a line that I also write about. I'm like... maybe I could sue my mom for emotional damage, for robbing me of the paternal role that she had to play, even though she came over and she was doing that for me. But I'm like, but I could, if there's a way, I could sue you for that. And she was like, really sue me with us? Then I'm like, no, it's a joke. But I'm like, but I get what you're saying. Though. It's like, it's all those two truths, like, just like dancing together all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
But now, I think for them, because they're older, they just want, or from what I understand, it's just their point which you need to understand. And then now, here I am with abandonment issues.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not really like their fault, but they're there.
Yeah.
You know, they're there. So we can't also ignore that.
Yeah.
Because there are moments where I'm like, okay, who was supposed to teach me that when you're not there? You know? Because she's like, how come you never learned this? How come no one ever taught you? I'm like... So, you know, it's just that dance, and then having to reparent a parent. It's a lot, honestly.
No, but I'm sure you're a good child. You're a good girl, right?
I try, but I think amongst my siblings, I'm the one I'm more direct. Like, I don't like, I'll just be like, okay, if something is going wrong, let's talk it through. Let's not just be like, be coy. Because I feel like sometimes grown-ups, especially like the older generation, they'll try to conceal things. They never, you know, talk about things as they are. And for me, that seems like a waste of time. Like, let's just talk about it and then get over it. Because I feel like if you prolong it and you're not talking about it, then resentment comes in, then it's uncomfortable, then you start assuming that the other person thinks this, thinks that, which I don't like that. Yeah. I don't have space for that. So I'd rather just, let's lay it down, let's talk about it.
Okay.
But then to them, it kind of seems like I'm being rude, but I'm not. I'm trying to save you time and emotions. But yeah.
I feel for your significant other. I'm joking.
No, no. I think it's actually quite healthy. It's not like I'll just be like in your face.
Yeah.
But I would prefer we talk about it. If you do something and I'm not comfortable with it, I would rather come to you rather than be like, oh, you have to figure it out. How could you do this to me? Because maybe to you it's offensive, but maybe to me it's not.
Yeah.
You see? So if you do something I don't like, I'll come to you and be like, Joe, this really made me feel some type of way. And then maybe you didn't mean to. And if you did, why? You know, and then there's a conversation and then you sort it out. So for me, I'm okay with confrontation, but with other people, like with my mom, if you say that, then she goes quiet. Because she believes in the silence is golden thing, so.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I used to be. Now that I'm conscious about it, I used to be the avoid conflict at all cost. So I would pacify opportunity for confrontation with the humor, or maybe nullify the guilt as not as important of a thing. Just let people be. But now I'm like, nah, let's do this. So it's a different game for me. Do you think that comes out in your writing though? Like this part of you that's like direct and like, all right, let's put it down. Or you just write identities that exist everywhere around you?
I think I do. I think in each of my stories, there's a part of me, all the characters,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
some part of me. And I think the more confrontational one, maybe in the last story, I think it's Chipo.
Yeah.
I think the girl, she's quite, upfront with it. Like, I don't like this. Can we talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this and that kind
yeah,
of thing?
yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's where, yeah,
Okay.
from what I can think, even like with 2015, I think the cousin, she was a bit confrontational. So yeah, I think there's a bit of fun there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like how much of you is in the stories, but evidently there's a lot of you in the stories. Like they are born
Hmm.
out of experiences around you and inspirations around you and stuff.
Yeah.
But you said you say you started writing from a very young age. Like you're writing movies it was in primary school or something like that.
I was. So in primary, we had this very old teacher. Like he
Yeah.
was the oldest teacher. So some things I knew he would not like. I remember this other time I watched the movie at home. I liked the movie, and then I wrote composition. So I
Yeah.
knew composition time. I was number one. Like that was a given. So
Hmm.
I would narrate those movies back to him. But of course, I knew he would never watch the movie. So that's how I started.
Yeah, that is criminal.
Yeah. So I would watch the movie, I would like it, and then for composition time, I would write the movie, and then yeah, that's how I started loving writing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is this where there's a aspiring screenwriter part of you?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think that's where it started, and then when I went to high school, it became more books, I think, because I had a counting book. I don't know, you remember the counting book museum?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
had one, yeah, where I would handwrite stories. But my stories usually had names like Kyle,
Oh yeah, of
Chloe,
course.
because I was watching a lot of Disney then. So obviously those were the names, and some of them they had like blown air, but then I was like, I don't really see these people around me. So I started trying to write more closer to home, but it was more like childish. It was childish stories from high school, people fighting, all of that. And then I stopped. But I remember when I was in high school, I think one of my friends in high school still has that book because they would trade. Like
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
would borrow
yeah,
it for like
yeah.
a day, the other one for a day, and then they would read it. And I'm still looking for that book, but I don't know who to get. I don't think they'll ever admit to it, but but I know someone has the book somewhere.
But is what is it? Writing stories. Oh, my mind is blanking. My mind is blanking. My mind is blanking. My mind is blanking. All right, you're writing in high school. It's in high school,
Yeah.
right? You're right.
Yes.
Oh, when does the shift happen where you are like, okay, I'm stopping to write names with like Kyle? Because it sounds like this is the birth of your consciousness.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think in high school, after I stopped, so I think I stopped around Form 3, yeah, Form 3 going to Form 4 because life was getting serious then, like book wise. And so I think the shift happened when I came here, when I
Okay.
started writing again, because I stopped for a long time. Even though I was doing literature in high school,
Yeah.
I stopped like writing for fun for a while. And then when I came here, then I was like, huh, I think Americana played a huge
Oh,
part
okay.
in it
Yeah.
because the black characters had black names, they had
Yeah.
Nigerian names.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't I do that? Because even I remember I would want to write like phrases or something that we used to say at home in Shona, and then I'll be like, why can't I say it in my language? So I would read like books by Africans to see how they'll do it, to see if I can do it. Then when I saw that, my mother would like drop in like certain words the way
Yeah.
they say in Nigeria, then I was like, oh, why not? So I also started doing the same. And then with that, it just went on and on. I got more free to write what I wanted.
Is this how you start gravitating towards African literature? Because I know you say you tried reading like the Toni Morrisons, James Baldwin,
Yeah.
but you couldn't find any, you couldn't identify with your stories.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think with the Toni Morrison and the James Baldwin, because I just come, I think
Hmm.
it stopped at being black and
Yeah.
also, of course, racism. But then with Americana, it's connected with my Africanness
Hmm.
and my blackness.
Yeah.
So it was like the whole thing in the African literature book. So when I started reading Americana, then I was like, oh, why not read books by Zimbabweans too? Because
Hmm.
obviously I had to, and then I started like discovering so many Zimbabwean. Because I think when people think Zimbabwean authors, they think Shida Marimbo and
Hmm.
Nambuzo Mariche. I
That
think they
one's
are,
managed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now I also hear people talk about No Violet, Flowers.
Hmm.
Those are the three main Zimbabwean authors that people talk about. And then I was like, obviously they move. So I started digging in to try and like find more Zimbabwean. Then there are a lot of Zimbabwean authors.
Yeah.
And funny thing, seriously,
Hmm.
I literally just received a proof, literally that's was like 2 days of Shamiso.
Oh, let's get it. I'm
I got
honored.
the proof today. This is by Brian Chikwawa. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, yo, that's
Yeah.
Shamiso.
Yeah, this is the second book. It's coming in August. So they just sent
Yeah.
me the proof just to read it.
No way.
Yeah.
I love Brian Chikwava, man. Like I
Yeah.
reached out to him for an interview too. Like this is I
Hmm.
don't know if you can see this is Harare North right
Yeah.
here. Oh, I loved
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah. And he's a very, very nice guy. Because I remember
Yeah.
when I did my book launch, I invited him, but he was like, oh, I'm so sorry I can't come. And that was very nice because some people they were just ignoring, but
Oh
then he
yeah,
came
yeah.
back to me and then was like, oh, I'm so sorry I can't make it. And then I met him at a book festival. There's a Zimbabwean book festival that goes on here. And he was there
Hmm.
and he was very, very kind. So yeah,
Hey, so you
it's very
up, like you really up
well, I
there.
guess.
You are interacting with big people, man. Hey,
Now,
we are.
his publishing house reached out to me because I did this Zimbabwean author you should read thing.
Hmm.
So, because I have so many Zimbabwean books, I was just like sharing them on TikTok for people we want to read Zimbabwean
Yeah.
authors, and then that's how they found me. They're like, "Oh, would like to send you a book." So yeah.
It's funny because I think that phase you're describing, where you're starting to look for Zimbabwean authors, is a phase
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going through now. Because
Mm.
I, I was never big on. I used to read fiction when I was young. The
Yeah.
Annie Blyton, Secret Seven. All those books.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I started reading from, and then eventually it just died down, and then post that, it was like a lot of nonfiction, and then I came back to African literature because I'm trying to write authentic stories too. So there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. I
Yeah.
read the No Violets, No Vuyo, Tsitsi, Brian Chico. So I was intentionally looking for that, which
Yeah.
is that phase I was going through for like this past few years. And I was
Mm-hmm.
discovering a lot of Zimbabwean authors, Petina Gapa, you
Yeah.
know, there's this white author who writes stories from Zimbabwe, and I was like, there's actually beautiful writers from Zimbabwe that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a beautiful experience, like to start when you start reading it, but you then have a hard line on just like, all right, you discovered African literature and you're like, you're never going anywhere
Yeah.
else.
No. No.
Is there a
I don't know
why?
because I think my why kind of makes sense, no? Because I want to read things that I can relate to. That's
Yeah.
literally my why. That's it. I just want to read things that I can relate to,
Yeah.
things that I know about, things that I'm familiar with. That's literally the reason why I love African literature. It's not anything political,
Yeah.
maybe low key because yeah, but it's not like people were like, "Oh my gosh, racism." I was like, "No, I literally did Cambridge literature,
Mm-hmm.
so I was doing the whole ideal husband, Oscar Wilde. I read Oscar Wilde. I
Oh
was
yeah,
reading
yeah, yeah.
Shakespeare and all of that. So I couldn't understand what exactly I was reading. I couldn't see it. I couldn't visualize it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I was very limited in that sense. But with African literature, I can saw, I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it. So that's why I really enjoy African literature, because it could be someone from Uganda. They could be describing something, but I have a sense of what they're talking about.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
really enjoy knowing and understanding what I'm reading. I just cruise. I know, like, with Chimamanda, obviously, we need a dictionary, which I'm very grateful for, because,
Mm-hmm.
like, it enhances your vocabulary. But other than that, that's literally why I love African literature. That's why I love Zimbabwean literature, because I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with what they're writing. So that's just it. That's my life.
All right, your book.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was like a combination of, well, it's like an aggregation of a couple of stories that you wrote through time.
Yeah, I think it was a space of about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you never intended for it to be a book. If there are,
No,
yeah,
no. The thing is, I think subconsciously I wanted to, like,
yeah.
have a book, go and do talks, do podcasts and all of that. But it was just a faraway dream, because I couldn't, like, I was so afraid of criticism, because I remember I
Yeah.
even had a blog. And then on my blog, only my friend would read my story, because I just didn't have the guts to share. I was
Mm-hmm.
very afraid of criticism. So she would read the story, and then she'd be like, "Oh, this person, this." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I came up across Afro-bloggers.
Mm-hmm.
They played a huge role, because I think they had, I think it was on Thursday, where you would have to submit a story and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, let me just submit one." And people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is very good." And I was like, "Are you just saying it?" And then, with that, I grew confident, and then I started
Mm-hmm.
writing. And um, Samantha, who was my publisher for 315 AM, she found
Mm-hmm.
my stories there. Then she was like, "Oh, this is very good. Why are you not selling your stories?" I was like, "I can do that." And then she was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, I don't know, maybe they're not that good. But I think the problem was I was comparing myself to the people that I was reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which was not fair, because I just started, and then I was
Oh yeah,
comparing
yeah, yeah.
myself to Americana, which is not even her first novel. She was like the third or second, I'm not sure. So she had more experience than I did.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, I wanted my stories to be as good as hers. And then she invited me to contribute to one of my stories to a short story collection, I think with 14 other Zimbabweans.
Yeah.
And then I contributed my stories, and people were like, "Oh, that's good." Then she was like, "Okay." Then I went to her. I was like, "Okay." I think she came to me. She came to me actually, and then she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Do you want to do a book?" Then I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess." And then I already had most of these stories anyway.
Yeah.
Then I was like, "Fine, let's see where it goes." And then that was it.
Well, that's beautiful.
All of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite story? Is it 3:15 a.m.?
Uh,
Disclaimer before you answer. I don't believe in no favorite child thing. I'm just putting it out there. I think every
really?
parent has a favorite child.
Well, you're right. My
So
brother's my
every
mom's
writer
boy.
has a favorite story, a favorite book they've written. So you
My
must,
favorite,
yeah.
because I was playing around with genres in this book, I think I like 351, yeah, but I also like Tamuka,
Okay.
when it was out of the norm for me. I was just like, let me try a thriller, because I think I rarely do people or only one person mentioned something. She said scared her, like she's scared of the story. I was
Yeah.
like, huh. So I did well, because I'd never written like a thriller horror kind of thing,
Hmm.
but I like it because it was very out of the norm for me.
Yeah.
I'd never written that type of story, so I think I like it because I tried something different. So I think 350 and Tamoka, because they were out of what I'm used to. Yeah.
The 3:50 a.m. Like, is it the one where the cousin dies? Is it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
inspired
Yeah.
by a true story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She didn't die though,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but I was the one who kind of waited because she was annoying. And then I just looked at her and then I was like, fine.
That is sadist. What is that?
Well, I was young, okay?
Yo.
I was young and it wasn't a river. It was more of like, because we're at my grandmother's in St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had this, it's not a well, it's more of like, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like pockets of water where people would go and get water and they're like nearby. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
So she fell in,
Oh.
right? And then everyone was panicking. And then I looked at her for a minute and then I just thought of what she had done before. And then afterwards I was just like, okay, fine. It wasn't a minute, the whole minute, it was like a few seconds to be honest.
Yeah, that is
And then I was
wild.
like, okay, fine. But yeah.
Hey, these stories are revealing some stuff. Yo, that is
I
crazy.
know. But it was more of like, like when you're young and then you're competing, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And but the one who fell was not my actual cousin. She was another girl who lived at my grandmother's house. But I did have that kind of competition with my cousin. And now we are like this. But before, when we were growing up, we competed quite a lot. So that's where the emotion came from. I was just thinking, oh, I remember on this, but yeah.
Well, my favorite story is Kurawane.
Is it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Easy.
Oh, why?
I think I identified with it a lot. But also, but initially, like, it was the first story, and I think it was important for me for it to work as a first story because, like I said, I'm still a young babe at reading African literature. I'm still sucking milk. I'm not a connoisseur as you are. So the books I read should really work because I think I have a high expectation and low tolerance for something that doesn't work. Without with a genre that I was still getting into. But I'm getting the book at a time where I'm really intentionally looking for our Zimbabwean writers, African literature, stories from home. And then Kurawane is basically a story that I can see easily. It's like I identify with it. Like, I think it was a story that is common amongst a lot of immigrants.
Yeah.
Right? But beyond that, I think it was toying with a lot of ideas on love. Because I was thinking from it from a philosophical perspective. Like, what is the cost of love? Like, the practicalities of it.
Okay, sounds like a non-fiction reader.
Huh?
Okay. At least you sound like a non-fiction reader there.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Because if you read my review, that's where I was going for it. Like,
yeah.
That was the real issue. Because at some point, is it Kura? Kura is like, what have I to live for, right? When I don't even have my susu, right? It? Yeah. Because everything else was gone. He was even suicidal, but he was keeping himself alive because he had someone so he had love. So philosophically, the only thing that saves us is love. Otherwise, there's nothing to live for.
Yeah.
Basically, something like that. So it was really deep, but also practical in the sense that this is like the common immigrant story. So it was touching a lot of integration. Also, it was talking about Zimbabwean issues like the millionaire thing, trillionaire. So it's like it's addressing already societal discourse on bad economy in Zimbabwe. And then the toying of cultures, Nigeria and Zimbabwe, loss of identity. She has to change how her husband, the white guy, is referring to her. It's like you tone down, like my full name is Piwetina, right? My mother's full name.
Nice name.
Huh?
That's a very nice name.
Oh, thank you. my mother's full name was Sinodade.
Mm-hmm.
But here in America, they knew her as Sister Snow. In America, they know me as Pee-wee. No one calls me by my full name, you know.
Yeah.
So it's those things. So it's a lot of. I think it was just a very short story, but packaged with a lot of societal issues that it was identifying and had a philosophical level to it from my view. So it blew me away. I was like, yo.
Oh, I'm glad.
I was like, this is good.
Oh,
You know?
thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because, oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's why I gravitated towards it. And also the immigrant struggle, finding work illegally. You know, my mom, when she first came here, those are the channels she went through before she started working. So yeah, basically it was a lot of layers on layers. You know, in a movie, like people, I don't know if you've seen the new Ryan Coogler movie Sinners, or you're a fan.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Oh, don't spoil it for me. I might be seeing it today. I might be
think
seeing
you watched it. That's why you're mentioning it.
No, I've been seeing like Twitter comments or like on like people.
Okay. All I can say is stay until it's finished.
Okay.
Until the cleaners are coming to clean.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Okay. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. Like, you don't understand that. Yeah. So I was like, they were saying it's multi-genre. You know, it's comedy, it's like thriller, it's horror, romance, you know, blues. So that story was that for me. It was many layers. So I'm like, it's impeccable when such a short piece of art can address all those issues in one. You know, yeah.
You know, you're actually like reminding me that I'm actually a good writer. You know, I forget.
Yeah, you is
I
up.
forget.
Like
I do forget. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote a book. I literally forget, to be honest. And thank you so much for reminding me, because now I'm at a point where I'm like, do I still want to do this? So it's good for someone to remind me that, you know, I'm actually good. Even if I'm to say maybe I don't want to do this anymore, I'm just glad that you know I produce something that people think it's good.
Yeah. Do you have those like things in the back of your mind? I know like there's stories like 3:15 a.m. You know, there's a general one emotion that's there, and then I think you mentioned that when you're writing Kuraone, it was kind of like you thinking about your visa status at some point, that maybe possibly that could be you. And for Kola, is it Kola? Like there was some guy who just got her visa papers or something but died. So there's true story. So are you thinking about all those layers when you're writing it, and then, or it's just like those realities, but you're not conscious of the layers that you're hitting?
I don't think I was conscious of all that, to be honest. When I was writing, because funny thing is, the inspiration of Throne, I was literally sitting in a cafe. That's where I used to write when I used to live in Oxford. And I literally just saw an older man walking around. And I don't know, have you ever looked at someone and then you just feel like crying? Like they didn't say anything or do anything, but you just sympathize and you just look at them and then you know the whole story. So I was literally sitting on the first floor, and then I saw him walking down, and I almost cried because I was like, oh my gosh, what is he going through? Because he looked like he was the image of Crown. And from then, I think because I was going through the visa thing, it also impacted that. Then I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if he doesn't have this? What if he's going through this?
Wow.
You know,
not you
I don't know
projecting.
the man. I know. I'm so sorry, but he has no idea that he's the inspiration for the story wherever he is in the world. But yeah, and I was just writing my worst fears, I think, because I think that helped go through the situation. Because I was just thinking, this would be me, and I'd heard stories of people who've been here for 30 years. You know, they still don't have status, they don't have papers, and then they're thriving, they're working hard for people back home. and then they just die. Because even recently, one of my aunt's friends, um, she came here as a nurse like in the early 2000s, but for some reason they could not give her papers, even as a nurse. And here
Oh
they
wow.
want more
Yeah.
nurses. So, she had everything. She had the preferred occupation, but she could not get it. And then she got it like 3 years ago. And then in 2 weeks, she found out that she's cancer.
Oh
And
wow.
then within 2 months, she was gone. It sounds like fiction, but this is real. This literally happened to someone.
Oh wow. Well, I'll tell you a
Yeah,
story
just like that.
offline, but go on.
Yeah, and can you believe that the first time she went to the house that she built was as a corpse? The house she built in Zim
Oh wow.
was as a
Yo.
corpse.
Yeah.
So you see, this kind of stories, like, they happen. These are the things that are
Mm-hmm.
affecting real people every day. And I was just thinking, this could be me. At that moment, I was just thinking, this could literally be me. And yeah, that's
And
where Corona came from.
and just from that, that's how you develop characters. Just like you have that one, say, question.
Yeah.
So are you writing to so you're writing to express that emotion, right? But how do you
Mm-hmm.
conjure up the character? Like, I don't know. Because I've had writers say they are in conversation with the characters. Like, I'm writing, but I feel like this character doesn't work. Or I'm writing, like, it seems like they are in conversation with their characters. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you had that or you understand that.
I do understand that. Uh, for me, I don't really. It's funny thing. I'm a writer, but I don't know how to explain this. But for me, the character, I have to feel it here, like
Okay. Yeah.
physically feel it. Excuse me. I have to feel it here, and I think with Crow, he was so heavy.
Yeah.
He was so heavy. I could feel him. You know, um, it's not demonic or anything,
Ah,
but I
no.
couldn't.
Trust me. As
But I could
artists, we get
feel.
it.
Yeah, I could feel the presence and the heaviness of it, and just what wanting to get out, and what wanted to get out is the same thing I wanted to get out at that point in time, because it was very heavy on me. So to say that they were having conversation, I think when um maybe when with Susu, that's when I would have the conversation of what, you know how much did he love her,
Hmm.
what did he want, what was he hoping for, because they already had this dream they were going to have this and this.
Yeah,
And these are
yeah,
people
yeah.
who are undocumented, they had this dream, they were so young like then.
Hmm.
And then 30 years has passed by, and the girl had to do what she had to do
Oh,
to
yeah,
survive.
definitely.
And then,
Hmm.
yeah, the guy, and it really broke my heart to write that, because I'm a hopeless romantic. Actually, I'm a hopeful romantic, but I was just thinking, sometimes they have to move on with their lives. So it was very painful for him, because he was holding on to hope for all these years.
Yeah.
And I think in his mind it was just like, she's with him because of the status. But now that I have it, I can take care of you. But then she's like, but I've moved on. You're no longer the same. I no longer feel the same way I felt back then. Let's be realistic. But Chikini was like, you know what? I'll meet her where we left off. But my girl had moved on.
Whew.
So yeah.
That is not my portion in Jesus' name. Oh,
Yeah, I think it was just the reality of people moving on. People will move on. People do move on. So yeah,
wow. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I could go on and on about that story. There's black text too, but I think it
Oh
was a
yeah.
beautiful story, at least for me. It was a beautiful story, beautifully written. And yeah, like to give it more credit, it was good. Like it's one of the books I was reading. Like even when I discovered like Brian Chikwava, because
Mm-hmm.
I the first time I read, I don't know, you read Things Fall Apart. Of course you have.
Yeah. I
I
do.
read it like halfway and I threw it
Mm-hmm.
away, and I went
Mm-hmm.
back to my own book. politics. But then I started coming back. I read the No Violence, of course. They're interesting. I read No Vuyos, you know. And then I started, okay, now I can go back. Because I couldn't get it. Like, I was struggling through, like, Things Fall Apart. Things Fall Apart. I don't know why. So
I think most people do struggle with the classics at first. I did also struggle with the classic. But that's the thing. I think when you're reading, read what you like. Even if you don't read the classics, it doesn't mean you're not a reader. I think most people, they struggle with that. For them to be called a reader, they would have to have read the greats. But sometimes maybe they're not what you're into right now.
Yeah.
The best example I can give is my favorite book in the whole world is Homegoing by Agassi. But it took me 4 trials to get into the book. Because my mind was just not there yet. 4 trials. I almost gave up on it. And then the first time I was like, okay, I think I'm understanding it. And then till this day, it's by far the best African literature book I've ever read.
Oh, wow.
People can argue with me, but for me, that's it.
You're like argue with your ancestors.
Yes, for me, Homegoing is the best book. So yeah, sometimes maybe your mind is not there. Maybe if you're a mood reader like myself, sometimes I'll try a book, then I'm not into it, then I'll leave it, then I'll come back. But some people, they don't give second chances. I give second chances to books. Maybe because I'm also a writer. I'm just thinking, what if someone does this to me? But I do give books second chances because they will surprise you.
I have FOMO. Like I read a book and it doesn't work and then I let it go, right? And then I'm like, what if there's some good stuff? Then I go back to it. And then it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. But when it doesn't work the third time, I'm like, okay. All right. It's not working. 1965. I feel like 1965, that was another one that stood out for me. It sounds like it was a hard story for you, right?
Yes, it was.
And you do some research.
I had to. I had to, because one thing about me, I don't know what it is. I love historical fiction.
Okay.
I just love historical fiction. And I think with the 1965 meanwhile, the inspiration behind it was like, yes, it was definitely segregation, but I was just thinking, surely there were people in love then. It was literally based on like, I'm sure there were people who genuinely loved each other.
Yeah.
Like, even if they were like different races, like the interracial couples, just thinking definitely there were white people and black people who genuinely loved each other, not coming from a place of hate or, using each other. That's literally how it was born. It was just, I was just thinking of a love story, but then obviously I had to have the realistic background of what was going on. So yeah. And then the idea of, where did I get the idea of a white child being abandoned? I don't remember. I don't remember, honestly. But I was just thinking, if this happens, like this happens. Because it started very, very small. It only had the Chunga and Wangai at first, and the baby. And then it just blew up.
Yeah, sometimes thinking, they say you're writing one character and then boom, it's just like stuff happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you gravitating towards something a little political in that story, or it was just more of the Roman story, but in a politically charged context?
At first it wasn't political. I think I just wanted to write a love story about people back then, because I think I was so tired of, people saying that, like, I guess we're tired about like relationship conversations where people are just mean to each other. So I think I was just over it. I was just thinking, surely, they're romantic. There were romantic people back then. I know things were hard, but still, so it was just me trying to escape my reality for a minute and then just go back and think, I'm sure even when things were hard, when there were people who genuinely were romantic towards each other, they loved each other.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I was thinking of Chunga, I didn't want him to be like, the kind of man that we grew up hearing about, who They just want to work. They expect him to come and then their wife to do everything. I wanted like a softer man who would understand his wife, who loved his wife. So yeah, that's where it came from. And then it became political when I had to be like, okay, but the kind of world they were living in, what was happening in 1965 with black people, and then with white people, and then this white guy who moved to Fakwezi because he loved this girl, who, you know, and then what did he do to navigate that world as a white man, and you know, just being there for his wife. But I think the message that I wanted to get out from 1965 was, even like with white people, sometimes they will have the best intentions, but it always doesn't work out the way they think it will.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It always doesn't work out that way. Because that guy, Tom, he thought he was doing a good thing because he'd been told by the sergeant, Burke, that, you know, if you tell us, we won't hurt the people who do this, and this. But I feel like he had to be realistic because of the time. You know what the white police was doing to black people. So it was very naive of him to think that wouldn't happen, you know. So I was just trying to portray that sometimes maybe white people will have good intentions, but you kind of have to be realistic you have to be realistic to what is happening and how this kind of people act. So, yeah.
You're still tuned in to the Pen and Pulse podcasts.
I know like most of the stories come from somewhere inside you, right? Or maybe from a question or maybe from an emotion. But for this particular story, you had to do some research. Is this story or any of the stories, did any of them have some form of changing that happened inside you? Like, I wrote this story and it changed me, or it moved me, or it did something to me. Because I know you're putting something in the world that's coming out of you. But are you getting anything from the stories? Or just maybe, okay, I've taken this emotion out and I'm relieved, or it's like, this is what I'm learning from the experience?
I think it was a bit of both.
Yeah.
Number one, I was writing a love story, but I was also very curious. Like I said, I love historical fiction. I just want to know, like, what were they going through? Not romanticizing it or anything, but just out of curiosity, wanting to understand, like, everything was going on around them. How were they reacting? You know, not everyone had the same, you know, mindset. They were not a monolith. People had different mindsets.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what I was getting from it. And I had to ask my dad because he was in the second Chimurenga. So, you know, I shopped for ideas from him, especially with Pamshan, I think. Yeah. I had to ask him some questions with that one, because with that one I wanted to be more sensitive to the situation. So yeah, that's what I was getting out. And then, so the second question was like, what was I putting out?
So basically, I know you're putting out something, like, but generally from all the stories, what did you get from it? Maybe a learning experience. I know from the historical research, you probably found some information that you didn't have, but is there like, does the story change you in some way?
Yeah, it did. It made me look at life differently. And sometimes when I see people saying, oh, Rhodesia was better, I'm like, guys, not for you blacks, okay? Not for you blacks. And there's black people who are saying, oh, Rhodesia was better, not for you. And I think people are not privy to that. People don't really understand the extent of what's it called? Because people, I don't think in Zimbabwe they were calling it apartheid.
Oh, no.
I think that's why they think it was lighter.
Yeah.
But it was more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
The segregation was more or less the same thing. So I think because people are not privy to that, sometimes they're like, oh, you know, Rhodesia was better. It was better for white people, not for black people. So I think that's the other thing that I was seeing with 1965. Like, black people, they had their own passes. Like, people were not allowed to do certain things. And the only reason Wongai was able to be a nurse was because his grandfather was a missionary.
Yeah.
And he agreed to that. So that's how she got in. But black people were limited job-wise, they were very limited. The ordinary black person was limited. So I wanted to dig into that reality. And then when I see people saying, "Oh, Rhodesia was," but I'm like, not
You
only
don't know.
black people, because we were not allowed in the city after 6 p.m. You know, you were not allowed to have certain kinds of alcohol. You were
Yeah.
not allowed to walk in certain streets. You were not allowed to do so many things. And I think people not knowing that is quite heartbreaking, because now they're romanticizing something that would not have applied to them, which is quite sad, really. So, yeah.
Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it might be a psychological thing. Because even in the Bible, you know, like the children of Israel, like Egypt was better, even though they were suffering or something like that. And maybe it's a
Mm.
psychological thing that once we're faced with like immediate struggle, we start
Well,
romanticizing the past as better than today.
well, yeah, for the children of Israel, I could understand, considering it was more of the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. They lived through it. But these people
Yeah.
who are saying Rhodesia was better, these are like born free people. It's like me
Oh
saying
yeah.
Rhodesia was better,
Oh yeah. No,
right?
we don't have context for that
Exactly.
unless we
So
have
that
research.
those are the majority of people. Because if you ask the people who really went through it, they would not want Rhodesia back. If you ask
Yeah.
the Israelites of Zimbabwe right now, like the
Yeah.
war vets, they'll tell you, no, we do not want that back at all. So it's mostly the people who never went through it who are like, you know what, Rhodesia was better. We had this with this, but it did not apply to them.
do you do you dabble with Afro-Surrealism? I don't know. It's something that's like happening. I'm trying to understand it.
I know. I know. I was talking to Chido the other day, and I was just asking, like, what is that? Is
Oh,
it different from because there's another genre, what's the name for it again? I forget, because I was just trying to think, is that the one which has the tokoloshis and stuff? Because I think that's the one.
yeah, yeah.
That's the one we that's the genre.
Because
Because I don't know if you've read Yvonne's
drinking
book.
from crave, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think that leans towards that, and that's more super. There's a supernatural touch to it. So that I think that's the genre, and I've been trying to tap into that a bit more, but sometimes I don't know if it's supposed to be realistic or not.
Hmm.
I think that's where the confusion for me comes in, because I know like there are spooky things which happen. So is that it, or you're supposed to have like a spin to it? So I've really been trying to really understand it, but I think I've actually been trying to work on a short story about it. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I'm
So
just trying different genres. Really.
my thing about that maybe is like I find like maybe with African literature, like there's a certain portrayal expectation from non-African audiences that there's supposed to be some element of spookiness or some weird stuff going on. At least that's what I
Mm-hmm.
think used to be the thing. So I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
understand. Maybe you went through that when you're writing your book. Like there should be a part that screams African, the same way um, probably Afro-Surrealism might
Mm-hmm.
do. Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that I might be extreme and stereotypical African stuff, even though sometimes
Really?
it's real stuff that happens. You know, like if people were to
Ah.
stereotype African literature,
Mm-hmm.
the the Chinua Achebe kind of literature, like the Things Fall Apart book where it talks about the gods, the ancestors, magic, those things.
Mm-hmm.
But African literature, we've come to learn it's more than that. They're beautiful
Mm-hmm.
love stories. And now that we're even more modern, we're writing African literature, like stories from people in the diaspora. But you know more than I do, you know. But I'm
Not
saying
really, but
but I'm saying
uh,
if we were to stereotype African literature and act like we are blind to its beauty,
mm-hmm.
stories like Things Fall Apart and stories with this Afro-surrealistic element are stories that we would want to expect. No? Not really.
It's actually funny because I have a different notion to that. I
Oh,
would think
okay.
like a stereotypical African literature story would be about poverty,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
like someone struggling, like domestic violence.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm actually surprised you say that, and it's actually a very interesting point of view.
No,
You
yours
know,
is
because
yours is richer. Mine is
no,
limited.
I don't think, no. I think mine is more limited because most people that I know, they're saying like, yo, we're tired of the struggles of African literature. Like they think, well,
Yeah, yeah,
what,
yeah,
not
yeah.
that thing, they've experienced books which have the same thing, where people are just struggling. Like, for example, with Crow, and I remember someone was like, I read your stories, but it's just the struggle story, you know. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
that,
yeah.
where people are just like, oh, they don't have to be struggling stories and stuff. And at first, I literally had the same notion. But now, that's why we have genres.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't, if you don't like this kind of stories. That's why there's romance. That's why there's
Mm-hmm.
thriller. That's why there's all these different types of genres. So I think like people need to open themselves up more
Yeah.
to this kind of genres. If you don't like the gods and stuff, there's romance.
Yeah, yeah.
There's contemporary, all those things. But now that I've written this book and now I'm a bit more mature and I'm reading different books, I'm seeing now why most people write these struggle stories. For example,
Mm-hmm.
Crown is a struggle story, but now that I've told you where it comes from, it's a reality.
Oh, yeah.
It was my reality then. And now I might not be able to write a Crown story anymore because
Yeah.
it's not my reality at this point in time. I
Yeah.
might write a romance. I might write
Oh, how we would eat
fantasy.
that up.
I don't think I'm good at writing like pure romance though. I don't know. Even like reading romance, like it's not really my favorite genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think sometimes with authors, it also like where they are also plays a role. Because I'm seeing it now that I'm reflecting on this book that for some people it's the struggle, like Krawone, it's the epitome of struggling because he's an immigrant, he's going through it, but you see differently. To you, the
Mm-hmm.
struggling, to you it wasn't like a struggle story. It was more like, oh wow, it's layered. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think people view African literature differently now. But I think when you're just starting and when you're reading the great, that's when it seems like, the
Oh,
great
yeah.
and the most popular African books, it seems like it's always about struggling. Like there's so many challenges.
Huh. Okay. You see, this is why you are an African literature connoisseur. Is that a heavy
Guys,
title to
I guess
carry?
you would
Don't
literally the
you?
only person who's called me that. I read
No,
stuff.
like generally, don't you get people who think that you're now an expert in African literature because you're a content creator, you review African literature, you're on the TikTok, on Twitter, you're always on about the goodness of African literature. Do
I
you
mean,
know?
I think so. I mean,
I mean, it
I
does
think so.
wonders for you, of course. I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I think now I think people have faith in my reviews
Mhm.
because now like traditional publishing houses are now reaching out to me and like, oh, would you like to read this book? What do you think about it? So yeah, I think for me, I think it's good that people trust me because I
Yeah.
try to be as honest as possible. When reviewing books, it's more about what you think. So
Hmm.
sometimes I'll see people say, "Oh, I don't like this because of this." But then to me, maybe something different. Like I know people have mixed emotions about Jill Counts.
Yeah.
Some people are saying no, it wasn't as good, but for me, it was good. I
Okay.
think because it focuses on different kinds of loves and it also talks about experiencing love as an older woman. And there are not a lot of African books which focus on older women and
Hmm.
how they experience love and what love looks like, and also them having to do the inner work and looking at themselves and reflecting on the decisions that they've made. And also how, Chimamanda, she's now in a different place. She's no longer
Yeah.
the Americana Chimamanda. She's
Hmm.
now Jim Count Chimamanda, So yeah, I think some people, they were expecting Americana, but you can see the growth
Yeah.
from different books. They are both good books, but for me, with Jim Pounds, it resonated so much with me. I felt uncomfortable in some scenes because I was like, "This is me. This is me." And so many people say that it's like she was reading into people's diaries and journals because it's very personal. So yeah, for me, I enjoyed it because it was like, okay, I was happy that I'm not the only person who goes through that. But at the same time, I was a bit too uncomfortable because I was like, these are the decisions that I also make. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Are you writing now? Are you working on anything?
No,
So you don't write like on a daily, like
no, I
no.
actually don't.
Oh,
That's, like what I was saying. I think hopefully, God willingly, I only have one book left in me. And then I think I'm just going to pivot.
oh, you don't say no.
Yeah, because
Is
I
it a
think I'm at
romance
a
novel?
place. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh, no. Historical fiction actually. I've always wanted to do historical fiction. I love historical fiction. So I think I only have one book left in me and then I'll pivot. Because the thing is with writing, I was doing this for myself.
Yeah.
I was doing this for myself. But there's this Toni Morrison quote which says, if you can't find the book I'm butchering it all the way. If you can't find the book that you want to read, you write it.
Yeah.
So that's how I came to 351. And I just want a historical fiction. And I think from then I'll just pivot. I think I've given my all with this and then I'll see what's next.
You sound like all the musicians were like, that's my last album, you know. And then they come back with another album. I'm retiring. I think this one is the last one. And then they're back with
No.
another one.
No, I don't know. I think because I just turned 30 like a few days ago, so I'm just thinking
wow.
like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming into a new phase of my life where I'm like, what else can I do? So even if this is the only book that I write, and I don't know, something happens or I die or something, I think I'm quite happy because I wrote something. I wanted to write a book and then I wrote it. But I still think I have one left, even though I'm not in the mood for it. But I do have, the structure of the book, what it looks like. Like it spans over like 400 years from pre-colonialism to like the 90s, when the UFOs came to them. So
Okay.
yeah, I was just trying to dig into,
You just
some of
gave me an
these
idea.
forgotten Zim history.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just see how I'll play about with it. But yeah, if not, maybe it'll be a novella because I think a novel is quite overwhelming. I've never done a novel before, but I'll see.
Hey, you gotta take the challenge. If we're going out, we'll go out with a bang, innit?
Yeah.
All right. You reference a lot of Toni Morrison. Is she like one of your biggest influences? Like, are there other people that who informed your writing or that reading that you gravitate towards?
When I was starting, I think Toni Morrison. When I started getting into Black literature, Toni Morrison heavily. James Baldwin. Sometimes I couldn't really understand, but the sentiment was there. I love Agassi, the one who wrote Homegoing. Chimamanda, obviously, because American. I remember when I got American, I think I bought like 4 copies for my family. I was like, guys, look at this. I like, guys, look, this is writing. I like Novuyo. I loved House of Stone, and I actually got the chance to meet her. And side note, I wrote Pamshana after I talked to Novuyo.
Oh wow!
Because I remember she came to Oxford when she was promoting House of Stone, and I remember I went there and I bought this book, but I could not get into it. Number one, because of the misinformation. You know, when I was saying that most people say, oh, Rhodesia this,
Yeah.
because of what they've been told, right? And I had, from what I knew, growing up, about the Shona and the Ndebele people, was just like, you know, they hate each other, you know, the Ndebele this, the Ndebele that. So when I was now reading House of Stone and they was talking about Kufrawuni, I don't know why, but I felt guilty. I felt like
wow,
I had
okay.
done it. So I could not read the book. So I went to the event.
Yo.
She was talking about the book. And then she was asking questions. Then I was like, okay, now I have to ask. Then I was like, oh, you know, I wrote your book and I'm Shona and, you know, I'm so sorry about what happened. I feel like it's my fault. I don't know why.
How old were you then?
Not coming. How old was I? 21, 22.
Oh, okay.
I was quite grown. But it wasn't coming from a place of being like wanting to be something. It was more of like, it's the Shona who did this. You know, that's the history we grew up with, right? And then she was so kind. Her and the family, they were so kind. They took me aside and then they explained to me what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Like it was the government who employed people who were doing this. And then the government, because it was a Shona government, the government attacked the Ndebele people and then so many people died because of that. And then I had to do more research on my own, right? Then after that, I was like, okay, I can now write Bamshana, where there's a couple, there's a Ndebele man and a Shona woman. And then also I was coming from a place of like, you know, I'm sure there were Ndebele and Shona people who loved each other back then, despite what was going on there.
Yeah.
So that's where that's how I ended up having the courage to write Bamshana. It was because I had to educate myself first. Because if I had just gone into it, it probably would have been one-sided because I'm Shona and I don't have the information. I would have just gone with what I was told in base of emotion rather than actually understanding the history behind it. So, yeah, I'm forgetting the question. Oh yeah, my favorite writer, yes. No and No Violet.
I have a No Vuyo story, by the way, but go on.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I also love Jennifer.
Jennifer.
From Uganda.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've
Jennifer,
heard of her.
I don't want to butcher her name. Jennifer Makumbi, the middle name, I don't want to butcher it. She wrote Kintu. The first woman or a girl
I've
with
heard
a body
about
of water. Yeah, in Manchester happened. It's a short story collection. I think my list is full of female writers. I don't like the word female, but women writers. Mostly because I find most men, when they write, it's very technical. It doesn't have emotional backing to it. So sometimes I struggle to read books by men. I try, I will support you, but sometimes it lacks that for me.
I would say, you know what? I kind of struggled through Americana the first time. I used to read it when I was in college. I was reading it on my phone. And I'm like, this book is moving too slow, man. But I guess it's that detail, that emotion, you know? Yeah. I'm like, come on, get through it. But then it's also my nonfiction mind because I'll be like, give me the information and just leave. But with time, I grab it and I'm like, okay, no, you gotta simmer with the book. And, yeah,
because now that she's saying it, I think like men's fiction, it's really, and you're like, no, I need to feel it. I need to see it.
Yeah.
I need to hear it. I need to know what the bottle felt like. But with men, it's just there was a bottle on the table and then there was a book. But with women, they will literally like describe it. You know, you are there. So I think for me, especially, forgive me for this, but most men, or I read African literature, so African men, when they write sex scenes, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
It's so cringe. Oh my gosh.
I've heard about that.
Oh my god, I can't. Every time I see a sex scene by a man, I'm just like, guys,
Have you been on
It's oh,
TikTok? Have you seen those TikToks where they're like, all men when writing sex scenes or something like that, or like writing romance? People are going crazy. It's
it's
like,
true. It's really true. I kid you not. I read this at the book where the man was describing like a woman's breast or like as pointy as a pencil. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense?
those are typical terminologies in African literature
No,
that
no,
no, I'm not saying like
no.
by man. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah,
I
like
was just
it's one of those things that I would say. Those are like the maybe the back in the day. You know, did you read this article by called How to Write About Africa, How to Talk About Africa
no.
by Bien Chi. Is that what it's called?
Is it the guy who passed?
I don't know if he's still alive. How to
If
Talk
you
About
find it, please
Africa.
send me. I might want to read that.
Yeah, How to Write About Africa, Binyawanga Wainana.
Oh yeah, he passed.
Do you read it?
No, I didn't. I wanted
Oh,
to. He actually has a book. I think he's the one who wrote "Africa Is Not a Country," if I'm not mistaken. But I couldn't find it here.
yeah.
But if you have the article, if you can please send it to me,
Oh, yeah, I'll send it to you.
if that's not
Maybe.
too much to ask.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, maybe. Okay, yeah, we can talk offline. Yeah, so basically, it's satire, right? It's satire. He's describing the typical, basic ways people describe Africa. Like you would talk about the poverty, talk about describe. They say like still like that. Don't just say
Mm-hmm.
breasts. Say breasts like a point, like a pencil. So he's describing the stereotype way of
Mm-hmm.
describing Africa, something like that. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
satire. So yeah, the basics. So I'm saying those descriptions are kind of what he's talking about in the article, which is maybe one of those primitive forms of writing that people still use.
Mm-hmm.
But well, hopefully,
Yeah.
I as a man, I do not write literature that is like that. Now that we have talked to you, Mrs. African Literature Connoisseur,
Can you like send me something you've written?
I've written there's an article of mine in a bit of paper, but
Is it fiction?
to some extent,
Nah, I want fiction. Because I think that's where your imagination comes alive.
so I had this
Then I can
question.
judge.
I had this question for you because I was thinking about this, right? Well, like I have ideas, like I have questions, like an emotion, right? And I'm like, I have stories that I can create as fiction. But for the most part, I always gravitate towards writing creative nonfiction
Okay.
because I have this feeling that I rob reality of its authenticity if I create a story with new characters when they're characters that I actually meet and I can just use them in my stories. You get what I'm saying? I know it's a limited way of thinking because you can literally express anything or a point through fiction because those fiction are based on real stories in life. But for me, it's like instead of creating it, like experience it, then write it. I don't know. Is there something that you think it's?
I think you can. I think you can. So in the sense that let's say for example, there's something that is happening with someone in real life,
Mhm.
right? And then you don't want to like make it fictional because you don't want to rob the real story.
Mhm.
Is that it? I
I'm
think that's
saying
literally
that's what I'm saying that's what I do. But for some people, like you're
Oh
saying,
yeah.
for the Kurawana story, it's like you just have an idea of what is happening, and then you're creating people centered around that idea. For me, I have an experience, and then I write that experience to express the emotion or answer the question.
No, I think you can. I think you can. Because, well, if you look at it like that, with Crown and Jane, it also applies. because it was taken from we and other people. Because it's not only based on one people, they're different people, right? Then Krawone is representing like different people.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you can. So I think that's mostly where fiction comes from.
Well,
It
so I
has to
do
be
write
based.
fiction.
You do write fiction. It has to be based. It just depends on the genre,
Yeah.
right? Because it just is literally based on someone. Yeah, because there's nothing new under the sun anyway. So
All right. Hopefully, I've made a friend to critique my writing.
yeah,
I'll send you some
Yeah.
stuff. Don't worry. All right. Let me let you. Before I let you go, maybe the last thing. What could be more important to not leave out? I heard you talking about. Well, this might not be the most important thing in the world, but it's an interesting
Okay.
fact. I heard you talking about that when you were writing, you had to create a scene where like teleports you home or something like that. Listen to Zimbabwean music.
oh yeah, I have to. I don't know why.
Who are we listening to? Then allow us to judge you.
Strictly urban grooves
Okay.
up until 2010.
I could put XQ there, right?
Yes.
Who else? I don't know.
Rocky,
Rocky. Okay.
Sunny Makalima,
Okay.
Leila Mafumo,
Okay.
Kirirai, Betty,
Okay.
Diana Samkanye, 2BG.
All right.
Who else?
So you got it also. Okay.
Yeah, because I have to anything whenever what's his name? Dana Maskiri. No, I'm sorry. That's like I just like before them. That's it. When it comes to Dana Maskiri, I'm just nah. I don't know. They're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So anything before them, I'm good.
Outside
Because
your
it just reminds me.
No. Yeah.
It reminds me of Power FM when I was growing up.
Oh, I see what it is.
Yeah, and then I would listen to that, and then there was what was this on TV again? Not Ezom Gijo though. Ezom Gijo was more
Was a
mature.
Friday.
There was also Friday, and then there was something on Saturday. I'm forgetting.
Oh, is it Star Kids or something like that?
Star Kids was in the morning.
In the morning,
because I had friends who were on Star Kids, but I'm forgetting the name of it. But yeah, those kind of music. So they make me nostalgic, and then I remember back home, and then all the emotions come in. Because I think I write based on nostalgia. So sometimes I'll introduce Takura because I like Takura. I'll also like to my playlist. I'll add Gary Mapanzura. I think they're the only two people who I added to the list, but it's strictly to 2010.
That's for writing, not in general.
That's for writing. Even in general, I think.
In general, who's your fighter in Zimbabwe?
I like Takura.
Okay.
That's it.
I mean, you're hopeful romantic, so it makes sense.
I like Sakura. Yeah. I think for me, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
Who do I like?
Yeah.
Till death do us part. Ability extension, Natio.
Oh yeah. I like one song by him. I'm very selective.
The disrespect.
Maybe because I haven't listened to his whole album.
Ooh,
but I don't know. When I'm listening, I'm just. Is it good?
Oh, it was good. Masterpiece. One of the greatest albums to ever come out of Zimbabwe.
All right. I'm trusting your judgment, so I'll try to listen to it.
Yeah. He did. All right, so thank you for doing this, Rudo. It has been a long time coming. There's a lot we could have talked about, but maybe another time. Maybe one last thing. Like, we talked about content creation because we see they're sending you books. Hopefully they send me books too sometime. We'll see.
Oh yeah, if I'm sure if you just do like here they do send people, and you live in America, right? You have
Yeah.
like bigger publishing houses there. So I think if you just put your content out there,
Oh yeah, definitely.
someone will find you.
How's that? Like maybe last thing, like the content creation, like how has that maybe changed some things around you in your life, or just maybe created more connections or community or anything? Because I'm a content creator myself.
I think it has actually opened doors because on Thursday I'm actually going for a book discussion, my book discussion with this book club, because they wanted to do like a suburban book, and then they picked my book,
Oh wow.
which I'm very grateful for. So mostly because of content creation and communities, people are actually like taking time to read and review my books. Because I think here in the UK, I think 3 different book clubs have done my book,
Yeah.
which is something I would never have dreamt of. And then in Zim, I think it's 2. So yeah, through content creation, like people do reach out. Even people who want me to do their book reviews. Yeah. But I'm slowing down. I'm not as consistent as I was before. But yeah, it
Yeah.
has opened some doors for me.
Do you have a philosophy on life?
Wow, that's a very deep question. Now that we're speaking about.
That's the last question. I mean, you are a writer. I'm sure you ruminate on these things.
You know,
Maybe a
right now,
maybe a mantra you live by or something.
a mantra I live by. You know, you caught me at a time where I'm literally reevaluating my life.
Okay.
Like what I was saying, that, you know, with the writing, I'm trying to like pivot and see what do I like, what do I enjoy doing. So I think I have a loose mantra at this point, and it's just see where things go. Because I think I was very rigid. I've been very rigid for like most of my 20s. I was just like, this is it. It has to. But then I'm seeing that I can change my mind. I think that's my mantra. You're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a failure. Sometimes you can change your mind. Like me changing my mind that maybe I don't want to write anymore doesn't mean I'm a failure. I wrote a book. I wanted to write a book. I published a book.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, I think you can change your mind. It's my mantra right now.
All right. Rudo Diana Mazvita Manyere, right?
Yes.
Is that the government names?
It is.
All right,
It
Mazvita, Maita. My Shona's bad. Thank you for coming on the show. And
Thank you for having
thank you
me.
for finally doing this. It's a conversation I've been meaning to have for a long time. It's great to finally meet you and have an extensive conversation with you. Hope we keep in touch. And for everyone else who's watching the show, please like, subscribe, share, tell everybody else. This is the newest big thing in town. Peace.